To start. Hello,
Hi,
Prachi. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
All good. So good to have you here.
Nice to be here as well.
Great, great. Thanks for being a part of the Insta Live. We already have some viewers onto this, and we'll keep having more viewers. So, before delaying further, let's get started on this. Hello, everyone. This is Mitch here, and I am starting the live session today. This is our first session on Instagram, basically looking at interacting, conversing with new age entrepreneurs, founders who are doing something different and unique, probably left their professions and started something more on a hobby or something that they really liked and enjoyed. So that's a journey that I'm looking forward to. And I met Prachi earlier this year, and we've just met once, and we've been in touch over calls and messages and WhatsApp, etc. And I thought there's something different, very unique and different that she does. A lot of people would have heard about it, maybe out of India, but in India, very few people are doing this. So I thought, why not have this conversation with Prachi and kind of know more about what she has to offer to all of us. So, Prachi, before we get
Yeah.
into what Smiley Spaces does, tell me about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Where are you from?
Well, I was born and brought up in Delhi, and been in Delhi for a good 25 years, 30 years of my life before we moved to Singapore, then to Bombay, and then to Bangalore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I have done my BCom honors, and then I pursued chartered accountancy. I have done my I articled under PwC to do my CA.
Oh,
And
nice.
I remember it was crazy days because you had your tuitions and then you had work, but you had to still come back and study. And even at that time, the tidy freak in me had to make sure that, everything is pick and span on my study table. Otherwise, I couldn't focus.
Okay.
Yeah. So at 11 o'clock at night, I would be fixing everything because I would just get jittery seeing those pile of books on my table. So that's the kind of person I am. But there's more
Okay.
to me than just organizing. I love to travel, read, even cook now. Lockdown
Oh,
has forced me to learn cooking and enjoy it.
sure. I'm sure
And
that's happened with a lot of people now. Yeah.
yes, and I'm essentially an extrovert. I love meeting people. And I think that is the reason I'm able to connect with my clients and they are able to open up to me so easily with their problem. I'm now a mother of two. I'm a mother of two, and I
Okay.
hope to pass on some of these skills to my kids as well because I think they are a very important uh, uh, ingredient to success.
Sure.
And
So how did this happen, from a CA who's moving around different countries and cities, and doing something very different?
so this is how it happened that like I told you, I was always an organized freak. My desk would always be spick and span in spite of my profession is very paper intensive. Still, my desk would be spick and span. So I always had that innate quality. Then, because we moved around so many cities and countries, this is in fact my second stint in Bangalore.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah. So because we have moved so much, every move sort of, took a toll on my professional life because it took me us so much of time to settle in with our kids, with small kids. And last year when we moved to Bangalore and I started my job hunting, I realized I was effectively unemployable. With so many gaps now, I was effectively unemployable. And I tried my hand at content writing. I got a few assignments, but it was boring because it just involved sitting at home and researching and writing. That's not the kind of person I can be. I cannot sit at home. So I came across I saw the Netflix series, Marie Kondo's Netflix series, and I was hooked.
Okay.
I Yeah, I was hooked because like my cupboard space, I could never keep it proper. Every 10-15 days I had to fix it again. But how Marie Kondo taught us or showed how you can, showed us the principle, taught us about the principles of organizing. And when I implemented them to the T, it's been a year I haven't touched my cupboard to fix it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was hooked. I looked up, there was a consultancy course, and I said, why not? I mean, I was already helping my friends, some of my friends who were really struggling with the clutter, and especially from Bombay, where, there are smaller houses.
True.
So I had helped quite a few people there as well.
Oh, nice.
So, but this is only last year did I, went to US, did the course, did the formal course under her, which itself was quite extensive. We had to, yeah, it was a 3-day course, and then we had to come back, take up 2 clients, tidy up their homes, send detailed reports which were analyzed. Then we had a written test, we had an interview before we were granted. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a proper certification course that you
Yes,
do.
it's not to be taken lightly.
Okay. But I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that you got your calling after 20 years or 25 years per se onto it.
Yes.
And I see that, I can see that spark in you when you're talking about this.
Yes, I've enjoyed it tremendously. I have enjoyed it tremendously. And it is, like I love when I was a professional, see, I love my work then also. But now when I see this, the same spark in my clients' eyes when they see that big change in their life, because this is not just about tidying your home. It's a change in your life. It feels worth it. It feels that yes, I've truly found my calling.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did Smiling Spaces happen? How did you get that name?
Well, I have a friend who is very creative,
Okay.
and I have been we went for names like we went for some Japanese-based names, we went for some very basic Indian names. But I told my friend that my this husband of mine is going to make me move again, so he cannot have very Indian names. It has to be something that I can use everywhere around. So then she was the one who came up with this
Oh,
smiling
nice.
space. It's actually because we do make it has a deeper meaning, the space, your space. And in fact, you do smile after you have done this organization bit.
True, true, true. So we have a lot of people waving, a lot of people already saying that there is one question which has already come. Maybe he'll probably definitely get the answer. But any tips how to be an organized person? That's what Solo Traveler says. And Satvik Life says, excellent concept. We all need help in this desperately. Yes, Satvik Life. So
Yes.
we will talk about it more in detail now.
Yeah.
Now going into in terms of what do you exactly do in Smiling Spaces? How do you help? What happens?
Okay. So the thing is, our work is essentially to make your space efficient and functional. It is not to make it picture perfect. It is to make it functional. So now most of the times what I've seen with my clients, there is so much of clutter that the whole day goes in just finding things or navigating your way through that clutter. Like a friend of mine, she is a working woman, and she had to get up, she had to leave her home by 7:30. So because of that clutter, she would take about an hour to get ready because she had to find her clothes, and then there would be a mess, there would be a hasty ironing, and then it was a so post I helped her with cleaning. She said, it helped me shave off 15 minutes of my morning routine.
Huh,
Everything was in order. She could wear newer dresses because everything was now visible. They
visible, yeah.
were off to the bed. So this was just to give you an example. It's just to make your space functional so that the house works for you. The house is a comfortable and a peaceful place for you to stay in.
Okay.
So we have helped people who are empty nesters now. They should not be climbing up. So we help them really declutter and what is the word I should say, downsize
Okay.
their belongings so that everything is functional for them. It is approachable. They can access it easily. They can use those things.
Okay.
Or like we have helped people who have growing families. So before the baby comes in, the
Mm-hmm.
whole house is set. They know where the baby's things go.
Okay.
So our basic principle is to make that house functional and make sure it stays that way.
Okay.
So if you actually follow those principles, you will never have to, like how we are used to the Diwali cleaning. This is not a Diwali cleaning. You will make sure that it will stay like this for years together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we don't have the worry of every year Diwali cleaning and mom coming and saying that, hello, Diwali is coming, it's cleaning time.
It's actually no, just the dusting is required, no Diwali cleaning required.
Okay, great. So I know you spoke about the Netflix series then when we met, earlier this year, but I am someone who's not got onto it. I still haven't seen. It's there in my list, but I haven't seen. So if you can briefly tell us, what does Marie Kondo, what are her principles, or what does she advocate? What are the things that we need to keep in mind?
Okay. So the first thing that Marie Kondo says is you have to commit your time to it. You have to be totally committed. You cannot say today I will just organize this drawer and that is it. No, you have to commit your time and you have to organize your whole house to see the change in you and in your because of this decluttering and tidying up. So that is the first you have. The second step she says is imagine your ideal lifestyle. What are the kind of things you envision after post decluttering? This is sort of begin with the end in mind. What do you want from your house? What are the changes you want in your life? Because that will keep you motivated to go through this mammoth exercise. Mind you, it's not an easy exercise. It is not like, okay, today I will just do this bit. No, you have to commit your time. You have to make sure you organize your whole home to find that change. Then she says, first thing that we do is go through each and every item in the house. Evaluate it, whether it sparks joy, whether it is something you use, whether it gets you happiness, or is it just there because you had bought it or it was a gift or whatever reason it may be. So that is the third most important step. Then she says tidy by category and not by location. To give you an example, like in a highly cluttered home, I found that my client's clothes are not only in her room, it is in the another cupboard in another cupboard in the guest room or wherever, all over the place, all over the house exactly, effectively. So she says, don't tidy by location that, okay, today I'll tidy my room. Take all your clothes together, take one category together and then tidy. This is how you will know how much you really have, and you will be able to evaluate how much you really need. And how much space you have to effectively store. It has to be sort of a balance between what you have and your storage space.
Yes, very true. Yeah. Very true.
And then the last is that she's given an order in which you need to tidy. So first you do clothes, then you do books, then you do papers, then you do kimono, and then you do the sentimental items. The reason being it's easy to take a decision for your clothes, whether you want to keep it or not, as against sentimental items, which are very difficult to let go.
True. So, yeah. We are so connected with certain things that we have. I mean, I'm sure everybody would have that, and I have it in my house also. And my mom will say, "Oh, this is from my wedding," or "This is when you were born," and things like that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's very difficult to get rid of the things, because we've been seeing that for years, and we want it to be in front of us.
So that's exactly what she says. So she doesn't say that you need to discard everything, but if something like this, which means to you and it has been in front of you, she says don't lose it in the depths of your attic. Take it out, show it around, use it.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So is it possible for you and I, like an individual, to look at her series and start doing this? I mean, how difficult, how easy this is?
So like I did, I saw the series and did it. I know that doesn't make any sense to me, to her, but still you can. But Mitchell, I have seen very few people are motivated enough to see this exercise through its end. This is where we come in, and plus, we have certain expertise. We can help you with the storage bit, even if you can discard the storage bit, how to keep it, tips to keep it. Like, for example, a friend of mine who, like the same friend who I organized the cupboard, she didn't have time during the weekdays to keep her laundered clothes. So we made a carved out a small niche where she would keep her clothes, and only on the weekends when she had time would she put it back in the cupboard so that they are kept in its proper place.
Okay.
So, these are the small tips that we give or help them with looking at the space, how they can organize. So it definitely helps to have if have a professional help, because your work gets faster. It makes you commit your time. If you are on your own, you will probably postpone it. Okay, this week I'm busy, maybe not. But if you have an appointment with me, you have to keep it, and
You have to.
you will have to do it. So
I
it's
don't have
more
enough
for the
time.
discipline, more for the tips, the small, easy tips. And sometimes people are amazed, oh, did they teach you all these tips? Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
So,
just some principles that we
yeah.
apply.
So I keep hearing that, and I've heard this earlier also from you, which is like the spark of joy, or does it spark you kind of thing. But
Yeah.
how does this entire exercise would probably help? Like, for example, now when I think of it, I'm like, do I need an expert to help me this, or I can do it myself? So I'm still at that stage. So
See, I'll tell you honestly, you can do it, but if you had it, normally, if a person had it in them to discard and decide,
hmm,
the house, see, not, some of the people can do it. A lot of people can do it, in fact. But the kind of clients that I have seen, they have been unable to do it. They have been able to sort of give importance to that. So when I come in the picture and they realize how they have been living and how different their life can be. So, okay, let me say, well, how can I tell you? Like the spark joy concept. Now, it sounds very simple. So we've taken off the clothes, and the client can decide for themselves that, okay, I like this or I don't like this. But it is never easy with them. I am sort of the bouncing board. Okay, I bought this, but I don't have this. Then I ask them questions. Have you worn it? When did you last wear it? Do you was it a gift, or does it fit you? Or if it gets spoiled, will you still buy it? I give them some questions when they are especially confused to grapple with it. So I'm like the sounding board. Okay, Prachi, I know I need to do this, but what do I do? And it does help them take those decisions.
okay.
Sometimes on your own, it is difficult to decide.
We would probably end up saying, okay, it's okay. When we've
Yeah,
kept 10, let's keep the 11th one also there.
yeah.
Right.
If nothing, my very presence there makes them think. Oh no, yeah, I need to think. I've got a woman here, and I'm paying her, and I know this is what I want to. Again, that visual board, that vision board, what I need helps. You
Helps.
know, and I want to achieve this. So yes, it does help.
Okay. And what do they get in end? I mean, some examples from your clients, you worked with uh, after the exercise that you've done with them. So what
Okay.
happens?
What happened? So, like, I'll tell you a story about this cute couple that I worked with. They're empty nesters. Kids are now married and settled, and and they love to travel. So, but they had huge amount of things in their house, and my uncle, he also loved to cook, but that kitchen was too much for him to navigate and sort of do anything there. And he had a lovely bar which again was cluttered, and they wouldn't call people because they were at a stage when they couldn't really manage it. So, when I came in, and they did, both of them, in fact, was so interested that they both did that, which was normally doesn't happen. It was usually the lady of the house who gets involved. But in that case, both of them did get involved with me, and they kind of forced each other, let's give it away. And then we tidied up. We tidied up their whole house, the kitchen was so minimized, so approachable. The grill, which they love to use instead of being on top of the shelf, was now, at an approachable place. They found their favorite recipes,
Oh, wow.
in the tabs, and they, for they were so thrilled, and especially after this lockdown when there were no help coming, both of them sent me a message that Prachi, what a pleasure it is to stay in this house, and we are so glad we did this exercise before the lockdown,
Glad.
because it is so easy for us to stay here, maintain it without any help, and we are both able to pitch it.
Oh, that's nice to hear. So as you
Yeah.
said, before the lockdown, so how are you managing during lockdown and how do you help your clients? Uh,
So lockdown, I've been doing Zoom sessions through Zoom,
okay.
which with its own challenging with that 75 minutes window, and then or we use Google Meet. So we have been using all these virtual video platforms to do it. But
Okay.
it's been difficult, but because I am not there, uh, like initially when I would have this first meeting, there would be a connection with the client. Now it takes some time for me to put up that connection. That connection is important because they need to trust me completely.
True.
But still, we do come around that. I have been taking their help in, going through that whole house virtually, figuring out what are their storage space, what are the problems that they're facing. I send them customized videos. So if I'm
Okay.
not able to explain it to them, how to keep a particular way, I will, after the session, sort of do a small video for them so that they
Oh,
understand
nice.
what I am talking about. So all these small tools have helped me. In fact, I would say lockdown also has been kind of a boom because now I have clients as far as, Baroda in Ahmedabad.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
it would have been difficult for me to take up as a client.
Okay. Or you
Yeah.
had to be the lady from the Indian matchmaking who travels all across the globe to make matchmaking.
Or yes, or I would be traveling everywhere. Yes.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's fine now. I think the first two clients were a little difficult, but we found a groove. I found how we can help.
oh, nice. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So good to hear that it's not stopped during because of the lockdown and it's you still been able to help the clients, because I hear a lot
Mhm.
of people who say that, my work is completely stopped just because of the lockdown and it's not happening and, things like that. Uh,
Yeah, it's not completely stopped, but yes, people have their office work and they have families staying there. It's a lot more time commitment for them.
true.
But otherwise, yes, no, my
Yeah.
work has going
Okay.
on.
So do you only focus on the home related? I mean, you spoke about the kitchen and the, the cupboard and books and things like that. But what about if I have a workspace? For example, my workspace is in my bedroom,
Yeah.
on that. And now because of lockdown, everybody is working from home. Uh,
No, so I do look at workspace. Like
okay.
I have done a client who had a bakery at home.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do office work also, but I just started doing that, and because of the lockdown, there has not been much experience there. But yes, I do office space. I not only the physical files, I do help them organize their soft files,
Oh,
have an
okay.
effective email system or a filing system or just a way to organize your desk so that you're more focused.
Nice.
So
I think
that as well.
positive. I mean, if I look at it, the other sides of it, when people talk about the Vastu and the others, they always say that you need to have, like, positivity around you, and some colors, and a lot of things around it. So this is a little different, but I think I'm getting it there now. It says that if my place is clean and I have that space, I think I'll enjoy my work much better.
Yes.
Pursue onto it.
So,
So I think I'm getting there now.
yeah, in fact, a lot of my clients have told me that after post this exercise, they have felt a lot more confident, a lot more positive.
Oh, nice.
Like this girl, she lives with her mother. She's a 27-year-old woman, little obese, and little low in life that things are not working the way it is. And
Mhm.
I went to her room. Her room was just full of, it was like a dump yard, and she was really low. But when she opened up to me and we did go through a cupboard and she let go, she had lost her father, who she was close to at a very young age. And
Mhm.
she was still like, kind of grappling with it. When we did that exercise with her, and she did, fix her room, but she said, actually, I learned the art of let go. She became more confident that, no, my life is in my hands on as to how I want to lead it.
Nice.
Those are the kind of changes, and that's how, she became more positive person.
True. I can understand that, I have
Mm.
started to relate it now on that. And uh, as I said, I have not seen the Marie Kondo Netflix series on that. But before we get into the call, I was just doing some research and looking at it. And once you start
Mm.
looking at it, the internet starts throwing you the content just around it and all that kind of thing. So I think there's one part where I read somewhere which says that you need to thank the objects that you're discarding. How
Yes.
does that help? Or is it true, or it was just written on internet kinds?
No, no, it is true. So Marie Kondo does advocate that you should thank the things that you are discarding.
Okay.
So we don't insist that the client does it, but personally, what I have seen is that when you say you bought an expensive dress and you realize it's not a good buy, maybe you shouldn't have bought it, and you feel guilty about discarding it. You just try and say thank you, okay, for being in my life, but I guess I don't need you anymore.
Okay.
You feel you feel less guilty about discarding it, or a gift that you have got. You thank that person that thank you for giving me the gift from the bottom of my heart, but this is something I can't use. You definitely do feel less guilty about discarding it. You the process becomes easier.
Easier. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. So
because all
so
of
on the
us
same
have
note,
had.
yeah. So on the
Sorry.
same note, is it the most difficult thing for people is to let go of things, or do you find
Yes.
something else?
No, I think it is the most difficult for people to let go.
Let go.
Once they let go, it is the storage bit or the other bits are easier. But that let go itself brings about huge transformations in them. So, like you become very careful spenders. Now you're more in tune of what you want.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I think we need to all somewhere get to the point saying that let go is the thing. We need to work harder on it.
Yes, definitely.
And I shall remember what you always say, that that's the spark joy.
That's a spark. I keep things that spark joy in your life. Wherever you look around your house, it will give you a smile. It will make you smile.
Yeah. But I think I've seen a lot of places, or people on social media, they post that this is the corner of my house which gives me that happiness, that spark. But I think when I look at your conversation, it's the entire house which should give you that spark and happiness. It's not just that one corner. A lot of
Yes.
people talk about it, that this is my favorite corner, or I love to start my morning here in my corner,
Yeah.
and things like that.
No,
Yeah.
I still have my favorite corner. That
Okay.
is, yeah, I still have my favorite corner in the house. But yes, what we mean is that you should be comfortable and relaxed in your space, in your whole space. Why not only that corner? The whole space should give you that happiness, that peace.
That
So
spark.
that's right. That spark.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Prachi. It was great to have this conversation and learn a lot more about, the spark of joy. I think that's got onto me now, and I will find my spark of joy everywhere now.
Yes.
Uh,
Uh,
and things about what are the principles and things like that. If someone has to reach out to you, what's the best way to reach out to you? Uh,
oh, well, my email ID and my numbers have been shared on the website, my Instagram page, my Facebook page.
so
You
it's
can also
Smiling
send me a
Spaces.
message. Yes. You can also send me a message through my website and I will get back to you.
Okay,
Yeah. My
great.
numbers are on. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, folks, for joining in. This is Mitch here signing off. But before that, do log into smilingspaces.in. That's the website. They're available on Facebook and Insta. Pink's Prachi, and she would be definitely happy to spark the joy in your life.
Yes.
Correct, Prachi?
Definitely. More than happy.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Lovely chatting with you.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah.
Mitch.
Thank you. Bye bye.